Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing well out there. My name is Thomas Taylor III, coming to you live once again, January 2nd, everyone, 2022. I don't know about you, but between 2020 and 2021, it just seems like it was a blink, man. Like those years just went by real fast, everyone, based upon the pandemic and, just kind of moving around. It's just like, it seems like those years were a blink. Well, hey, I'm not going to be with you too long this morning. I'm going to try to be brief. But this morning, what I want to talk to you about, now I know a lot of people already started their New Year's resolutions as well as goals, right? Those things we pretty much do every year. What I want to talk to you about this morning is a theme. I want to talk to you about a theme for the year that I want to share with you. My theme is going to be persistent, right? And why is that, right? Because during the course of the year, we're all going to face adversity as well as difficulties, right? So, based upon those goals that you wrote down, can you be persistent long enough for those goals to actually come into fruition? Why? Because when you write those goals, right, the universe will respond, but then there's also going to be this thing called life, right? And unfortunately, you guys, sometimes when life shows up, all of a sudden we forget those things that we actually wrote down that we actually want to accomplish. So the reason why a theme for this year for me is going to be persistence is because can we still push through, everyone, right? Can we still deal with the adversity, deal with the difficulties that's going to come, right? It's going to be there. It's called life. And can we stay focused long enough to witness, right? Now, check this out. Can we stay focused long enough to witness what has already been accomplished? It's already completed. If you wrote down a goal, if that's what you want to do, it's already done, right? But can you stay focused long enough to witness the actually completion of that goal, right? And that's where persistent comes in at, you guys. Because if we're not persistent and if we're not consistent, how do we plan on obtaining and reaching those goals? Because we all have them, right? So writing them down is not a challenge. I'm going to do an exercise next week that I asked you guys to do in November about gratitude. Just things that we have been grateful for, things that we actually for future wise will be grateful for, right? But it's the consistency. And all I ask is write down one thing per day, right? Some of you guys may have done it. Some of you guys may still be working on it. But the persistency of it is where the challenge comes in at. So it's January, you guys, right? January 2nd, 2022. You got, all these things that you want to do for the year coming up that, maybe there's some things that you didn't get a chance to do last year that you have on your list that you want to do for this year. Okay, oh, that's fine. So let's talk about a plan, right? I can help you with that. You can reach out to me. I can help you with that. I'm a certified life coach, right? I'm a vision coach, visionary, like help you with those things that you have in your mind in terms of dreams and help you make those things become a reality. But the key theme, everyone, is persistence. Let me tell you a little story. So, I grew up without my father back in New York, right? So moved here to Atlanta from New York in '99. My son was about 1 years old, and I wanted to change our name because I grew up in New York. My last name was Searles, and I kind of said a little bit about this story before. My last name was Searles, but I knew that my father's last name was Taylor, right? So I said to my wife, "Hey, I want to actually change our family name." Now I'm 38 years old, everyone, right? So she says, "Well, I want you to find your father first." I was like, "Ooh, find my father." Now I only had met my father one time in 1985. Just met the dude one time. This is 20 years later. I'm like, wow, me, find my father. Like, I don't know if that guy's dead or alive. So I agreed. So fast forward, ultimately found my father, and he was in Orangeburg, South Carolina, everyone, right? Reconnect with him, met my grandfather that I never met in my life, my aunts and cousins and uncles. But this is what I found out. I found out that my father's actual name was Thomas Taylor Jr. I never knew that, right? But the reason why I'm telling you this story is because I was persistent. The whole goal was ultimately to correct a wrong, meaning the last name that I had, that I gave my wife, that I passed down to my children, was not even actually my last name. It belonged to my sister. Like my sister's father's last name was Searles. So my mother and my sister's father got divorced, and she kept the name. And she just gave me the name. But in my mind, I knew I had to correct a wrong for my grandchildren unborn, everyone. So connected with my pops, found out that his name was Thomas Taylor Jr. I never knew that, right? So I ultimately petitioned the court to change my name and my family's name to Thomas Taylor III. Why? Because I was my father's firstborn son. I have a brother that's born in February. I'm born in January, and his name is Tyrone. But you guys, I faced a lot of adversity in doing that because everybody that knew me was like, nah, don't change your name, Thomas. Your name is Searles. It really doesn't make a difference. But everyone, like, I was persistent because I knew it wasn't right. Right. So it's one thing if you don't know something, but it's something else when you're armed with information. And once I was armed with that information, that my last name that I passed down to my son, eventually passed down to my daughter, wasn't right, I had to do something about it. In the event, past the adversity of family members not agreeing with me, right? That's the adversity that I'm talking about. But I was persistent to change my name. Then I got in front of the judge, right? I'm actually, you guys, I'm writing a book. All this is going to be in my book, writing a book. Stood in front of the judge. He said, hey, what's the reason why you're here to change your name? I said, hey, Your Honor, the name that I have, it has no bearing on me, right? So he's like, oh, okay, so who's it belong to? So I explained the situation to him. He said, granted. That was March 5th, 2005, everyone. Legally changed our name to Thomas Taylor III. Now, one of the reasons why I'm telling the story is because out of that, because I was persistent enough to go through what I had to go through in order to change my name. And I had to change, credit cards, mortgage, life insurance, like all of the documentation, everybody. But I was persistent, though. That's why I'm going back to that word persistent. To the effect of, out of that came my nonprofit in 2012 called Growing Up Without a Father. Because I was persistent in actually physically changing our name, my creator, God, put on me to help other people who are dealing with that same hurt and pain of growing up without a father, right? When I created the organization, like that wasn't the intent. The intent was to change my last name. Out of that pain came an organization called Growing Up Without a Father, right? So why am I telling you this story? The reason why I'm telling you the story is because you never know what your creator has in store for you. The goal is to be persistent in what he put inside of you. Because if you do that, sometimes your destiny is birthed out of your pain. So why do we don't want to why are there reasons for not being persistent? Pain, right? Anguish. Sometimes we get comfortable being in our comfort zone. And we know if we be persistent in that other area, it might cause us a little bit more pain. It's unfamiliar. You see, I could go through all those emotions. But the reason why I'm challenging everybody to be persistent in that is because you don't know what's actually down there for not only you, for starters, because you have to go, but for other people who are assigned to you. Now we can move right into your destiny, right into your purpose. But as long as we stay, you guys, in our comfort zones, will never experience true life, true bliss of what you feel your creator actually has destined and designed for you to be while you're here on earth. Yep, I agree. It has to be more than just going to work, coming home, paying bills, and watching TV. It just has to be more to life than that. And there is, right? But we have to be persistent in those areas that we shy away from, because that's where our greatest benefit is going to be. When we attack those things, we attack those areas, we're persistent, right? We don't let nothing stop us and be consistent to the point where the universe says, oh, we got to give it up. We got to help her. We have to help them. Why? Because it's sold out. I'm going to do this no matter what. So in 2022, this year, reset 12 more months, 365 minus 2 more days to do those things that you know that's been burning inside of you in your quiet meditation, in your quiet time. It's banging on you. You know what it is. You don't have to raise your hand and tell nobody. All I'm asking and challenging you is to be persistent in that thing that you've been pushing away, that you've been shying away from, right? Just go ahead, apply yourself. Again, I want to say thank you to all those who've been, following and watching since last year. I started going live because my coach, Mr. Sean Rais, challenged myself and my class to go live, right? Around this time last year. I went live in February 2nd, right? Like who goes live just to talk to people to go live? I was not interested, everyone, to be honest with you. I was not interested. But he said, hey, if you're a coach, if you have value to give people, how do people know you out there? So just go live. So I hit the camera not knowing what I was doing, and I went live. A lot of people stop, you guys. It's almost a year later, and I've been consistent and persistent in going live. Just talking to you, just giving you value, just giving you my experiences, things that I've experienced to share with you. It might help you, it might not, right? Ultimately, because now I'm a certified life coach, to move you into one of the programs that I have to help you on a deeper level, right? But right now, this is just free value. This is just, information. But I was challenged. I was challenged in that uncomfortable area, right? But this is one thing that I knew and I understood, that if I was persistent long enough, over time, I would get comfortable. My first live, I was shaking. I was scared to death. Throat was dry. I didn't have no water. I had nothing. I didn't know what was going on. But I did it anyway. And this is what I'm challenging you guys. Just be persistent, right? It'll be difficult in the beginning, but then you get more and more comfortable, right? And then you really discover that ultimately it's not about you, right? But we have to go through it to help somebody else. Well, hey, that's my time. This year, we're going to ramp it up. I'm going to come to you a little bit more often. I'm going to do more lives. I'm going to create different material on different platforms. I'm going to share with you more, give you more content, give you more value, because I know you can do it. God placed something inside of me to help. It's just a gift. I take no credit for it. But what I am responsible for is delivering the message. And for me to you, I'm going to do more of that. So this is Thomas Taylor III coming to you live from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Once again, 2022, you guys. The theme is persistent. Can you stay persistent long enough to achieve that dream that I know that your creator has placed inside of you? I'm going to be with you. I'm going to support you in that, because I know you can do it. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Thomas Taylor III. My YouTube channel, everyone, is Thomas Taylor III dash Tailor Your Dreams, right? As well as email TYD at tailoryourdreams.com, guys. New year, new dreams. Let's go out there and get it. Talk to you soon. Make it a great day.